Hello there, and welcome to tonight's stream. We have turned up early, we are aware, and by early I mean by a whole 24 hours. I am Wolfie, this is Bunny. We are going to be doing some things today, and by things I mean makey things. Bunny, what are you making today?
I will do some plant momming because I neglected my babies for a very long time because first of all I was incredibly busy, second of all I was incredibly depressed. So today we will fix that.
Neglecting your children is child abuse. Do not do that, Bunny. Even if you're going to eat them, which I guess is technically just cannibalism. Not sure what's the worst offense of the two.
Evil. Anyways, so yeah, that's what we doing today. What about you, Wolfie?
So, we have a stack of coasters here. Your camera froze for a second then, that was weird. As you can see, there are many of them. These are all on the Crafting in Etsy. Link is down below somewhere, or on the flow page. You know where to find us. And basically, I'm going to make a slight alteration to these, because as you can see at the moment, the backs are empty and sad, like me. So what I've got here on my lap is a load of felt. I'm just going to cut the circles and stick the felt to the coasters. And hopefully not hurt myself in the process, I guess. Maybe, if I feel like it.
We both just insult ourselves.
Yeah, we'll do that. And I feel like I'm on the verge of a nosebleed.
I have professional. Oh my goodness, this is so far from professional.
It's only 90
so
degrees
as
off.
You can see, I already have very beautiful, very huge devil's ivy on my table, and I am currently soaking my string of pearls because the actual soil bowl that these live in is actually very tiny, and they dry out very fast, and these were not watered for a very long time. So I'm just trying to
Sorry to cut you off there.
Make them livable. Oh, puppy!
Early sighting of boy. There we go. He's had his screen time.
Wrong channel, obviously. I'm very proud of this. This came so far since I had it. It has a few strands that are actually the propagations themselves already. So I'm very proud of this one. I love it very much. String of pearls are just a lot of fun always. And I can't wait to have more and in like bigger pots. I really want to have a string of pearls running down at the side of my windows when I will have my own place. And this is Margaret. I glued googly eyes on one of one of the pots at like midnight one night because I found a video on TikTok that had this cactus with googly eyes on it, and I sent it to my special someone, and my special someone being the stupid man he is, and I love him because of that. He said, you should do that with one of your string of pearls. And that moment, I got out of bed, I got my googly eyes, and I glued googly eyes on one of the pots. So yeah, that's that's the kind of impulsivity that I do. I have actually repotting and propagations to do, which is very exciting if you ask me. I already soaked one of my string of pearls, which is great. And I will actually ooh, hang in there, little bud. Are you okay? Wow, how are you still alive? Ooh, look at this. This will be propagated. I didn't mean to propagate my devil's ivy just yet, but this is dead. if I don't propagate it, it will just die further because this is still salvageable. Wow, this is very interesting.
Scissors are too far away.
Interesting fact. This summer I decided to have a journal, and this is my summer journal. If I hold it this way, you can see it better. And I want to journal at least once a week during summer. I'm stuck on the third of so I'm almost 2 weeks behind, but I'm getting there. And at the front page, I made a little scrapbook page, and I also wrote a little poem. And it's like affirmations and manifestations. And one of them is propagated devil's ivy, which the only thing I implied by that is that I want to keep continuing working with my plants and, you know, do plant mom things. But apparently my notebook took it literally, and now I had to propagate my devil's ivy before I even wanted to. So think of that what you will.
It
But
was
that
like,
happened.
what's this? You don't want to propagate me? Inside check.
Sorry?
It was like, well, you don't want to propagate me. Do you want to try that thought again?
Wanted to propagate it, don't get me wrong. I just didn't want to propagate it quite yet. Yeah, this will be very soggy, and that's fine. Because, as I said, I've been neglecting this specific ones way too much. So, if it's soggy, it's fine. I need a small spot. So, go. Boop. Beautiful. Before I go any further with this, or with anything else, I will pop this back where it belongs. Look at this long boy. Such a long boy.
Longest of boys.
I appreciate a long boy. I will, next time I plant mom's things, I will propagate my string of pearls and I will replant them in the same pot. Hopefully unite the two. So what I want to achieve that it's not only long but also dense, like this one. This is my preferred look for string of pearls. I like them to be almost like a curtain. So what I'm doing here is gently squeezing the pot, which you might notice that it's actually old rice pudding pot. But hey, it looked stylish, so I kept it. Look at this rootage. Very nice. And I just pop it in the water like so and let it soak. And after it's soaked for a while, I turn it so everywhere can soak. And I will actually put some more water in this pot. I might need to go and get some more water at one point.
Go get the thing at some point.
Sorry?
You said to go get the thing at some point, so I told you to go get the thing at some point.
I said that I might need to.
Ah.
And the thing is water. Alright. This is the pot that my string of my devil's ivy will go into. And I will actually clean the outside of it a little bit. Now that my devil's ivy and my string of pearls are down, my room looks so much more dead.
Oh,
You don't even notice.
that looks
Sorry?
so much better. There, we've got the first one done, so that's the bottom of the coaster. Like, it's only added a tiny bit to the thickness of it, but I think that'll do it.
That looks very nice, actually.
I am happy. I am a happy boy.
That's important.
Oh, hi Stuart. Are you on the account for streaming the thing you were streaming the other day that I've completely forgotten what it was?
Hello there.
General Kenobi.
Hell yeah.
You're right over there. You're just spilling soil all over the place.
I did not spill spoil all over the place.
Soil spoil. Sorry, I just heard Mum sneeze in the living room. I'm gonna get Google to broadcast something.
Don't understand technology to that level, so I have no idea how that works. Go, soil. What happened?
Oh, so basically, I've got these Google Pods around my house, and I could just, speak to them and get them to send messages around the place. But instead, what I opted to do was to go onto the Google Assistant app on my phone and just type in the voice command manually. And I think I just heard Mum pass comment on me saying "bless you" through Google. Bear in mind, she is in the living room.
Okay, I am a little bit scared of doing this because look at the size of this piece of devil's ivy. This is huge. So I have to be very careful not to break anything. I never repotted this thing. Oh, well that was easy.
I am terrified of doing this thing. I need to take my time, and it's done immediately.
That was actually well easy. The hard part is already over. I like this. I enjoy this thoroughly. There we go. And now comes the part when I just stuff it with soil.
Just a thought. Neither of us have any D&D stories for tonight, do we?
I actually do.
Oh, do you?
I do have some D&D stories, yes.
Ooh.
As yesterday, not yesterday, on Saturday, I had D&D. So our current DM is taking a break, because reasons. So one of the other players stepped up and said, "Hey, I can just host a mini campaign while we're at it." And some of the players were just like, "Yeah, let's do it." So that's happening for one more week before we go back to the original campaign, which I cannot wait. I'm very excited to get back to the original campaign. I'm I believe I grew as a D&D player, so I will be a better player for my friends, better player for my DM, and most of all, better player for my own entertainment. Um, so that will be oh so exciting. But let me tell you about this current campaign that I'm playing, that this other player as a hero stepped up and said, you know what? I will help our DM get a break, and I will help the other players get a bit more confident. Because he's been playing for years and years, and there's another player at the table who's been playing for years and years, and then there's like three of us other players who don't, and so the party is a bit unbalanced. And this break kind of will restore that balance as the bit more unexperienced players played a bit more, and we will be able to situate ourselves better at the table. One moment, let me just pull a move and this is actually not even soaked fully yet. Oh, this is sad. I thought that I can dump my plant back into the pot. I can't. It's still not ready. It still needs to soak. Honestly, that's a bit sad how dry it is. It's almost as dry as Wolfie's humor.
Oof. Is almost offended.
Huh?
Is almost offended.
Is almost offended. It would be offended if wouldn't know that I'm right. Am I right?
Don't know. Jury's still out on that one. I'll get back to you later.
Okay, so the campaign starts by the players putting their hands on the table and fooling through their character sheets as a weird mixture between themselves and the characters, which was great because we are all very insecure players, so role playing was very, very easy. We just played as we would as people. And we were found by a little goblin who asked for help for um, his village because there were wolves attacking the village, and we just went and helped them because that's what you do when you're a D&D player, right? You go and help the destroyed village. So that's what we did. First cool thing I did was I borrowed daggers from my party members. So I had like 4 daggers. And I pulled a whole Wolverine and used 4 daggers for 1 attack, which I rolled with disadvantage, but I dealt a stupid amount of damage for a I'm just watering some more plants, by the way. For a first level player. Like, I genuinely dealt so much freaking damage compared to being first level. So, we saved the village, as D&D players do, and then we find out that we are not the only sky people. So we are directed to the Elven capital so they can help us figure out What's up with us? Why did we fall from the sky? What's what's the matter here? Cause this is reminds me of a certain mage, except instead it was damage received instead of given.
Yeah,
Interesting.
so basically, give you a little bit of a rundown here. In the Legends of the North campaign that I'm playing in, with the table that Stuart plays at as well, our characters were all aboard a slave ship, you know, being taken to be sold as slaves, and basically we come under attack. Ships get wrecked. We all end up on the beachhead. We ventured to this nearby town where there happened to be a plague. I jokingly made a joke about it being corona, and it was kind of funny. We then later went to the next town over to try and investigate this further. Turns out everyone there is plague, undead zombie things that don't like our face. So there's a little bit of toing and throwing between the two villages, but eventually we end up in the basement of the second village's church. And we found the source of the pandemic that had been created, which was these 6 or 7 barrels of what I then elected to call the no-no juice. Now, my character is a bit of an arsonist by accident. He's a fire genasi sorcerer, and whenever he seems to miss with a fire spell, it always seems to set something on fire, even if it wasn't even made of wood. And, yeah, so basically he sees this room full of 6, 7, 8 barrels, and you could almost hear the Legend of Zelda music playing in the background as he gets Link syndrome and feels the need to destroy them. He got as far as producing flames in his hand before I think it was the maximum damage I could have taken, because these barrels were apparently very explosive, was 136 points of damage. Most of it was narcotics, some of it was fire damage, and bearing in mind that's on top of my fire resistance as of Genesee. I think the other one was just force damage. But
What
yeah, level 3. So we
160 points of damage.
Yup. I nearly killed
So
myself
you
3
died.
times over. Nearly. Because I only took about 24 points of damage total
Ooh.
out of my 29 hit points.
So, a little story time about this specific money tree, which is a raisin. Like, the leaves are so soft. This shouldn't happen. This was one of my first plants that I actually bought off of someone who did propagations. And the interesting thing about this is it was this big when I got it. So this was the top leaf that you see with the hole. This was the top leaf. This was a new leaf. This hole I accidentally put in it. And yeah, it got so big, and I actually propagated off of it once already. But because this pot of soil is very, very small for it, it literally couldn't grow any bigger. So I will take care of that right now. But first, I will soak it in water like every other plant that I need to do today, because everything is bone dry. So I'm trying to be extra very careful because it has some new sproutings. So just careful, and making me have a big old drink. It's almost water repellent, it's so dry. For non-plant lovers, that shouldn't happen. And while I do that, I will fill this other pot with soil. So, yes, before we went to battle with the other goblins, also this little goblin guy called me a pretty lady, and my mother instincts just kicked in so hard. And for some reason, ever since then, whenever we go somewhere and there's a kid, the kid just you're a pretty lady and I want to talk to you kind of situation, basically. Which is kind of adorable, not gonna lie. So I just mum of everything. Anyways, so what I did to protect this little guy while we were fighting, I literally tied him to my back. I don't know if you ever seen a mom wearing this this scarf that they tie the kid to themselves with, right? It was that. It was literally that. After we killed the wolves, we went into the city. We bought some weaponry. And a map. You know, everything you need for adventuring. Um, and then we started our journey to. Oh, funny thing that happened here was after the first night after the fight, it started to snow because apparently we arrived in the winter. And my character, who I also named Bunny, um, just ran around, you know, had fun, and threw a snowball at one of the other characters, and I called the player out and said, "Make a dexterity saving throw." And this motherfucker rolled a net 20, so I'm like, so the DM flavored it as I throw, as my character throws the snowball towards Fog, which is the character. Fog just reaches his hand out and catches it, and then with the same force throws it back, and it was just like, Bunny, make a dexterity saving throw, and I'm like, crap. So
So was it basically like the last scene in last fight in Kung Fu Panda 2, where Poe's just like throwing cannonballs back at the cannons?
yes, yeah, it was that. And I rolled an 11 or so. That was not enough. So I got knocked over.
Bless you.
Thank you.
So fun little thing that's going on in terms of D&D on my front is not only am I playing in the campaign that I've set about with the accidental pyromaniac who doesn't mean to be a pyromaniac, it just keeps happening by accident, is on this Saturday, I believe it is, I'm actually starting to run a campaign, which is lovely. And that is going to go, I hope, very well. And it means now that I'll have more stories to tell D&D wise when we stream on the Wednesday, and hopefully I won't just be relying on Bunny's D&D stories. Or the every other week Tuesday session that I do with the Legends of the North, because we do it every other week, whereas I think this campaign is going to be every week to start off with, until I realise it's too much for me to do it like every week. Where's my tissue? There it is.
That will be a lot of fun because actually my sessions will resume somewhere in the next 3 weeks as well. So loads of D&D.
I've already planned how the opening scene is going to go, and I'm really happy because not only am I DMing it, I'm also playing the NPC that's sticking with the party. So I'm kind of multitasking. Which, you know, questionable idea for the first attempt at DMing. But I'm actually really liking the characters for this selection. I think it's fair for me to go ahead and introduce them now, actually. So, Stuart, he's playing I want to say half-elf fighter, if not full elf. I'm going to actually have to pull out the campaign because I cannot remember. But he's playing an elven fighter.
One
of
these sessions will be also streamed.
Yes, they will be streamed on onto the Brick Cave Twitch, but I've set up the crafting in to auto-host it, so you can even just come over here and you'll still see it, but it just won't be showing up over there. So, yeah, there'll be a thing about it. Don't worry, we'll get the information out on it. So it's an elf fighter. I've just realised what I was actually supposed to be doing and then didn't do. Who is also, so we've got the elf fighter of Fallandin, which is the starting town. She basically acts like a bouncer to the inn, just because like their backstory is just a lot of, you've come to this inn, you're starting fights, please kindly leave or I invite you to say hello to my friend my fist. D&D Beyond, that's what I'm after. We have a half, again I can't remember. We have so many half elves or full elves, I can't remember which is which anymore. Sources, no, where is it? Tools. No. Campaigns, there we go. View campaign, there we go. We have there we go, it's a half elf. We have a half elf ranger who is entered town for their own reasons. And our other actual player is a dwarven cleric who has not had tragedy in their backstory per se, but it has definitely been a conflicting one. The NPC happens to be a conjuration wizard who walks around with a little pet crow because that's fucking adorable.
That's cute.
I say pet, it is a familiar, so it can just poof, as and when it is required. I've got an interesting plan as to how I'm going to open this campaign, but given that one of the people playing also is is also a viewer at the moment, I cannot divulge this until next Wednesday.
Yeah.
Grr. But it shall be interesting nonetheless.
Indeed. Actually, when I started to like talk about the campaign, I'm nowhere near done. So strap on because I have a long story. Because I just realized I actually haven't really talked about this campaign on the stream before, so I have a lot to catch you up on.
Proceeds
So
to then not
after-
catch us up.
Gosh. So after we got rid of the wolves, and there was the snowball fight. What was after the snowball fight? Went and got maps and figured out that there are other sky people as well. So we began our journey to the Elven capital. And long story short, we got there, which was, to be expected, because what else do you do? Ooh. I put the plant in the water and the water decided to. It did it. Alright, I'm gonna head out. I'm just putting an unholy amount of tanker on there. Unholy water. I find myself way too entertaining.
I thought I was the one supposed to be making jokes about holy and unholy water.
Well, I'm sorry. you weren't fast enough. So unholy water. Whoa. Gosh, this is so heavy now. Okay. I need to figure out what to do with that. I need to put something under it so it won't dribble all over the place. I didn't think this far ahead. And now it sucks.
And now we're going to do the rest of this stream in song!
I will.
I know you will,
Be
which is
back
why...
in a minute. This is the point when Wolfie starts to talk smack about me behind my back.
I mean, I would never do such a thing. She is an amazing person, and anyone that says otherwise is clearly wrong. Plus, like, you know, she's the bard, so if anyone was going to make this stream done as a song, it would definitely be her. There we go. Uh-oh, she's back.
Back! They're back.
The bunny has returned.
Alright.
Quickly, act normal.
Act normal. What is normal?
That is a
Normal
very good
is
question.
Normal is a social construct that, in my opinion, is stupid. Nothing really mention-worthy happened while we were traveling to the capital. Not to the capital, but to the coastal city where we got a boat towards the capital. On the boat, we fought pirates, skeleton pirates to be exact.
So you're playing Sea of Thieves?
No. But there were skeleton pirates. And when we arrived... Oh no, there was something interesting happening while all the shenanigans were... When we went into the coastal city, we needed to get papers. And apparently there's a different kind of documentation for Sky people, which was very interesting to get, because they found out that we are Sky people because they had a lie detector or whatever.
It sounds like they're sky racists.
No, they were magic. I don't know, something like that. What I'm doing here is just poking the soil so the water will distribute a bit more evenly, because this is, again, bone dry. I will need to top this up. That was, again, fine. And then we were starting to get low on money, so we decided to, go and get some. I mean money. And the way that went, oh my goodness, where did all this soil go? I watered it, and now there's like 2 centimeters of soil missing. And there were jobs for Sky people specifically, where they kind of conducted experiments on them, which turns out it's way less creepy than it sounded, because there was just 2 tests. We needed to fight a bunch of stuff, and we needed to resolve a paper test. It was very fun because the paper was a mimic, and with some animal handling checks, it was nice and solved, and it was very cute. And turns out these people, the Sky people, think also they come from all over the world and from all different eras as well. Like, for example, we had a guy from Japan who came from the 1940s. That was the year they wrote when he fell from the sky, which is, I think, very interesting.
You don't want to know where my mind went with that one.
Sorry?
You don't want to know where my mind went with that one. He was stood in Hiroshima, and the nuke blasted him into the game of D&D.
Why you must always?
That's what happened in 1945!
Why you must always?
Sorry for knowing history.
See, I forgot to turn this poor cactus, and now it's lopsided. This will take a lot to make it lean back to the original. side, basically. I might actually... No. And after that all was done, um, we got on a ship that only elves were allowed on, because apparently elves are racist in this world.
So they
And
were sky racists.
interestingly enough, our party consists of 3 people. 2 wood elves and a changeling, so this wasn't an issue.
Ah, fair enough.
Um, bubbles. Um, so we got into the city. It's surprisingly reinforced, and they are hiring sky people for the army. And I asked, why is that? And apparently, the new emperor is a person fallen from the sky at level 5, which apparently is very, very high. They don't really know anyone above level 5. And after he became emperor, he just jumped straight to level 20. And me and my party found that very, very interesting. So, and our carriage driver said that there will be a so there's a celebration because the emperor is about to make an announcement, and we were like, oh, that sounds very interesting, we will stay for that. Because my character actually asked before we knew that there's a new emperor, that if the city is in war, because it was so suspiciously reinforced. And I've been told no. Fast forward to the speech of the new emperor. He just announced that the elves are in the golden age, and uh, they must share this with other people as well. So from this point on, the elves are in war with everything and everyone. And the DM did something here that my brain is still very much goes back and forth about, because he said that the emperor is very familiar to me, and I said, as a player or as a character? So do I know this someone as a character, or do I know him as a person? And he said, as a person. Then proceeded to say, he reminds you of a certain someone with long hair. And I was a bit startled for a moment because, I have a lot of friends who have long hair, a lot of male friends who have long hair. Uh, he started to suspiciously smile, and I was like, you son of a biscuit, are you implying that... Yeah, for example, Wolfie. You son of a biscuit, are you implying what I think you're implying? For anyone who didn't catch up yet, he was suggesting that this person looks a lot like my special someone. So my character, being half me, asked the nearest guard um, kind of how to... No, we knew that they are hiring sky people for the army. So I asked the nearest guard how to apply, and I signed up for the army. And while we were signing up, I asked, how can you speak to the emperor? Because I knew that, oh, if you're in the army, then you must speak to the emperor at least, like, at one point or another, right? Turns out I'm right. And turns out, you actually can be a town, not a royal guard, if you're doing great at the army. And I've been also told that a lot of Sky people actually get into the Royal Guard. It's not uncommon. So I said, sweet, there's 3 of us signing up without consulting with my party members because at this point I'm desperate to get into uh, the town, the Royal Guard. So we sign up, and as we go in to the bunks basically to put our stuff down, I said to the DM I want to kind of assert dominance. At this point I am pissed, I am desperate to know what's going on. So there's this half orc, half elf. Oh no, that went on the carpet. That shouldn't have happened. So not orc, half Goliath, half elf person standing in front of me and asks me, what am I doing here? Because I'm a pretty lady, I shouldn't be here. And I said, last time I checked, they weren't discriminating on size, because also my character is very short, and said, last time I checked, they weren't discriminating on size, and that's probably because it's probably why you're here too. And he turns around and says, whatever, you will probably be eliminated in the first week. So I said, I would like to cast, I'm a druid by the way, my character is a druid. I would like to cast Ice Knife and throw it at an angle so it goes past this colossus ear, explodes on the roof, and does no damage to anyone. Not the knife, not the fallen ice particles once it explodes, because for anyone who doesn't know, when you cast Ice Knife, it hits twice, it hits with the actual knife, and it hits after it exploded into little icicles. So this was very well planned, and I was very nervous to pull this um, roll. I very much was scared that my roll will not be high enough. But your girl rolled a net 20, so it was great. It was great fun. And after I asserted dominance, I just went back to, my stuff to get it all sorted and, what you do when you sleep at a new place. But, get your teddy bear out and peaches and everything. Something like that. And while I was doing that, almost unbothered, I point at my 2 party members and say, also, don't touch that too if you don't want to end up like him. And after that, at the night rest, we actually leveled up a lot. Like, we leveled up 5 levels because of we got kind of like ranks. I'm not entirely sure what to call it. I can't remember what it was called. But point is, because I am so desperate to be great at what I'm doing in terms of the army, that I actually took. So we leveled up 5 levels in one go. So I actually took paladin levels on top of my druid levels, which apparently shouldn't work, but so far it does. And that's where we left it last Saturday, and we have, I think, one more session before before the campaign ends. I'm not sure if it will be more than one session, but this is what we are dealing with right now. It's very interesting, and I am very much gripping the edge of my seat just because of the amplification that the DM did. And I told him that if he will pull the rug from under my feet and that person is not who I expect it to be, I will be very angry at that DM. And that DM just smirked, just smiled. So that's where we're at.
To be honest, it seems like something I would do is like purposely mislead the whole party and turn around and be like, oh yeah, by the way, it was actually this guy all along. They'd be like, fuck you. Which isn't what's going to happen on the campaign for Saturday. Because
if it was that guy all along, I will be very surprised, and there will be a very interesting roleplay moment there. Because I know that guy, and that guy would not do something like this. And that's why I'm so confused and want to get of the end of it so bad. To see if the DM is messing with me, because this is personal assault or whatever, like, I don't know, bullying or whatever. Full clarification, my special someone would never start an Elven war. I know him, he wouldn't do that. It's literally not because I'm not even saying that because there's actually no elves in real life. But you know.
Well done for killing Christmas for most children on the planet.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
I might have to go whack the heater on. It's getting a bit toasty in here.
Is it?
Yeah, just a bit.
So yeah, that's the end of my D&D story. That was very, very long.
I think so far in Legends of the North, I think the Bard hates the Sorcerer. The Warlocks only just realised that they're a Warlock and they're still confused as fuck. Who else we got? The Rogue kind of just flies about occasionally. They refuse to go into buildings or underground, so that they make it very difficult for them to appear sometimes. We did all fight some giant snakes the other day, though. That was pretty fun. May have incinerated a hole into the back of Danger Noodle. No, Sneaky Snack. Danger Noodle was stabbed. Yes, I named the snakes. I'm very attached to them, sad that they're dead. Which is why we now wear them as cloaks.
Lengths of no probe.
Go again?
I said big lengths of no rope.
Yeah, the DM was like, you could tell there's something over by the trees. And I'm like, should we burn this place down? And it's a surprise to no one. A surprise to everyone, sorry, considering the Warlock was the one that I did set on fire during the first session. The Warlock actually turned around and went, yeah, probably best to. And then that's when the Danger Noodles turn around and were like, no. Can't be burning this place down.
As cute and decorative as this little pot is, it's cracked, so it doesn't hold water, which would be fine if the soil wouldn't be bone dry. So I will have to plug this little guy out. And give it a new home.
You're being evicted.
Well, actually, if I mix up the soil real good and make it nice and moist, you know what? No. It's not worth the effort. This supposed to hold domesticated arson was never meant to be a plant pot.
But a plant pot it became.
Against her will or something. But yeah, it was a plant pot. So, I am actually almost done with just basic watering and things. Yes, this will go into a new home soon. Don't worry, I didn't forget about it. I'm just trying to be somewhat systematic about this.
Alright, I've just turned the fan on, so I'm just going to check the audio to make sure it's not too loud.
For me, it isn't.
Yeah, no, we're all good. So basically the reason
It's
why
so weird that the water bubbles.
They do the bloop 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 bloops.
Literally does the blub blub blub.
So the reason why I have to actually check it, Tammy, is because I've muted my microphone coming into my headphones, so that I don't get a feedback, which bugs the crap out of me. So I can, so if I click a button, I can monitor the stream output, not my headphones.
Hmm.
I'm looking forward so much to make a central.
Oh, same. It will be so much fun.
So just as a question, because obviously, well, maybe not obviously to the viewers, but you and two others are coming to my town first, and now I'm driving the four of us up to make Central. Are we going to be doing any TikToks on the way up there? In the sense of you be recording it, not me, because I'll be driving, the important bit, and not crashing and dying.
Probably. Probably.
Fair dues.
Why wouldn't I? Content is content.
That is true. You know, I had a vicious mockery loaded up the other day, and I think I sent it to you, but I've already forgotten what it was.
Oh, I can't remember either. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It clearly can't have been a good one if I don't remember it.
Well, maybe.
But yeah, we should probably do another batch of those, either at Maker Central or just at some point between now and then.
Yeah, we should.
Guess also uploading the first batch would probably be a good idea too.
Keep your eyes peeled, people, because I will start to upload in different social medias such as TikTok and Instagram sometimes next week. So make sure you follow us on other platforms if you want to see more of our adorable faces. All the links are down below. End of shameless plug. in a moment I will have to go and get some more water for my plants because. And the moment is now. So I will be right back.
So, with because obviously the campaign that I'm running is going to be streamed onto the Brick Cave. There is actually, on account of me running the campaign, I've generated a discount code for the campaign. It will be posted into our Discord server. If anyone is interested, it will be affecting any of the D&D listings now or in the future because the coupon will be running throughout the entirety of the campaign, however long that is. And that, I believe, is 10% off on any of the D&D collection or items. So that will include things like dice pouches or class coaster mats. This druid one keeps making me laugh because somehow one of Fenris's hairs got into the resin as it was setting, which I think is just, it's pretty apt for druids and dog hair. Speaking of boys being awfully quiet, are you doing a big heckin' sleep?
When an animal or a kid is suspiciously quiet, there's probably something suspicious going on.
Nah, he's just having a nap. It's quite warm today, so bear in mind he's got a dual coat.
Alright, let me see. I have 1 to repot, 2 to water, and a bunch to propagate. Actually, no, I have some more to water. These will I actually just dump some water on right now. See what is still alive, Oops. These will get me to more propagations. Okay, so far so good. If I do say so myself. I knew that this would take ages, but I didn't anticipate it for so long. I thought that I would already be starting on propagations, but nay, bitch, I'm still watering. Because everything is actual bone dry. If I would have anything else but succulents, everything would be dead. But I have succulents. So these are still nice and alive. And this is it, ladies and gentlemen. There's no such thing as a good plant mom or a bad plant mom. There are people who know what plant to buy, and there are people who don't.
I'm actually surprised that I've nearly finished the D&D lot because I've got 10 more to do after I've done the remaining 2 for these, and that's the Skyrim collection. And then I'm done with felting the coasters.
Did you sneeze?
Yep. Yes, I did.
Yeah. Bless you.
Thank you.
I was thinking about one of my goals for this summer is to finish the first draft of my book. Because last summer during lockdown, I started to write a book and I thought that by now it would be published. It was not. But this summer I want to finish the first draft. Nothing more but the dirty draft, at least. And if I'm done with that, I might set another goal. Who knows? But the title of my book is Land of Ravens, and it's about a 14-year-old ranger girl who It's very similar to D&D actually, but there's this 14-year-old ranger girl um who is very 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 hot-headed. Do you say that in?
Yes, it is a term used, but very rarely. But it can be used to describe someone in English as that.
Because it's a Hungarian term and that's why I used it. Because I know that in Hungarian it is a thing. I just put Margaret to soak while I repot this little cutie. And she's just about to go through her um, what ceremony? Initiation? I'm not sure. Basically, from what point onwards she's a real ranger and part of the army, which is with rangers is a very very young age compared. And there's great equality between rangers. So there's female rangers and male rangers. They got the same training. The only thing that is different is the mount. They go on war, but that is more about fight style and height than gender. And so, just right before the initiation, Tara's father, the general, um, says that they were quoted to go to this one specific forest because they started to spot werewolves. Now, they shouldn't. Werewolves are not, they don't exist in this dimension. Because the way my book is set up, there's four nations: the people of the forest, the Shadow Nation in the mountains, the Light Nation, and the Dark Nation. The Light and the Dark Nation are outside of the visible dimension. It's like heaven and hell, basically. The Shadow Nation are the outcasts, and the people of the forest are just the regular people. The people of the forest think that the Shadow Nation serves the Dark Nation, and the people of the forest have a great connection with the Light Nation, who are like deities and gods. They are great teachers. And above all, is the three light dragon who interpret the wisdom of the stars. And the stars are basically the endless. Uh, the stars are basically the god in my book. Um, and the rangers are kind of the soldiers of the world. Um, and so they are werewolves in the forest, and Tara's father is asked, it's quoted to go with the army, as you know, the general is. Um, and they go without mounts, and this is where it starts to be very suspicious. No, 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 no. Actually, I said something wrong. There were no werewolves just yet. What happened is that the White Witches are rioting. And the White Witches were only allowed to stay in the forest because they swore up and down that they are not in any connection with the Grey Witches, who are now part of the Shadow Nation, because they were not nice to the people. And Sarah decided to sneak after her father. Um, Also, I will just spoiler my whole book. I'm just saying that I will actually spoiler my whole book here right now, because it's still very much in the writing phase, and I'm still kind of just spitballing ideas. Um, just having a brief outline of it, and I don't mind sharing it actually. But if you would like to read it without knowing anything about it, uh, maybe maybe don't watch this part of the stream or the replay. Um, and in the forest, there's this big fight, and Tara basically sees her father disappear in a portal to hell. Um, she runs away because she's too scared to go home, and she stumbles upon the bounty hunters of the lands called the Ravens. And she gets adopted. She's a raven for about a year and a half, and she gets very close with the son of the leader called the Raven Prince. This is the only name people know him by. And they get very close. And one day, Tara gets a job, a target person. Now, first rule of the Ravens, you come home with the target or you don't come home. And Tara never missed anyone before because she's a ranger. She has very, very nice base on how to do these kind of things. But because of a very bad mishap and some magic on the part of the target person, um, Tara misses him and goes back home because she thinks that, oh, there will be no issue because the Raven King loves me as I was his daughter. That's true, and that's why the Raven King did not kill her right away. The king said, "You get 24 hours to be a raven, and after that we will kill you." And Tara is kind of like content. She doesn't really want to move. She doesn't really know what she's supposed to do in this situation. So at night, while she's just sitting around waiting for the inevitable to happen, she hears a knock on the door. It's the Raven Prince, a great friend, who came in and said, "You're leaving now. I will not watch you die." So she does, and after a few days of walking around, she meets up with the target person again by accident, and they become very, very close friends. They have with the target person because they like change backstories, all that type of things. And she and him become almost like sister and brother. They have this very strong sibling-like bond. And they coexist like that for a better part of almost a year. When they start to hear the rumors that there's a fight about to break out between the Dark Nation and the people on the lands, which is the people of the forest, and the Shadow Nation. And so this friend convinces Tara to go back home and be a ranger. And that's kind of where it ends. And yes, this will be a sequel. It will be 2 books, and I will actually not tell anything from the second book. I will let all of that be surprise.
I would kindly like one of your books.
You will actually have to help me because one of the things that I want to do is make it into like a podcast kind of situation where all the characters are different, voiced by different people, and I would like you to help me.
That actually works really well because I kind of really don't want to get into voice acting a little bit, but I just don't quite know where to start on that front.
So it will be a lot of fun.
It will be.
I will get help from my amazing DM, who is the best character writer I know. And he is very, very similar to the Raven Prince already. So it will be great to have his help.
Itchy knows why.
No, she knows. She knows it's not good. Oh, I actually could plant. Ooh, hang on. Put aside.
Yeah, so you know how
Brings
you
back.
told me that when you're reading a book and a character dies, your brain can't differentiate between a character death and a real person dying.
Yes.
So I finally worked out what you meant by that last night, I think it was. And
What were you reading?
I wasn't reading, I was watching actually. I was watching Critical Role. And one of the characters gets basically knocked himself out right in front of an enemy. And subsequently then got stabbed by said enemy because they were just standing over an unconscious tiefling, just like, nah. And I was just like, no! How could you? Mad Mercer, you
Yeah, that's
bastard!
how it works. That's exactly how it works.
But it was beautifully well done. I will admit. I was like, that was well played, but also fuck you.
Yeah, that's. If you don't feel like that towards your DM, at least once a session, is he a good DM? Are they a good DM?
Well, it's. I would argue maybe not every session, but definitely multiple times throughout the campaign.
Yeah.
And it's something I hope to be able to emulate within the campaign that I'm about to run.
I think I had that moment already when that orc just evaporated.
Oh yeah, that. Yeah, that. We don't talk about what happened before that.
We will not talk about it. It's not PG.
No, it was. Oh, yeah, no. I realised what you were on about. I was on about the bit where my character completely forgot that the other orc had an axe.
Yeah, that happened as well. I accidentally one-hit Wolfie's character in the campaign. Yeah, that happened.
My luck on a dice roll just upped and left.
It literally up and left.
Like, I needed, what was it, a 5 on stone 5 more on stone endurance and I would have been fine. Nope, had to get a 2.
It was not glorious, and I was very scared that I messed everything up, and now my players will hate me, because, let me tell you, this was the first session.
But it
No,
worked
second
well.
session.
Yes, it was the second. It worked well, no characters died, they just got very close. It's just the way that Laz and Vega were basically just set out to just traumatize everyone. Be it the village or the party, they were traumatized.
Yeah.
Admittedly, the village people were dwarves, so they probably only came up to about the height of their knees, but even so.
Yeah. Village people are teeny tiny. And Kira's character did a thing when he scared a child, just for no reason whatsoever.
I remember that.
I remember that too. I'm still not too happy about it.
It was just so basically there's this child who's trapped in a house underneath like a load of I think it's like bedding and some rubble, and the dwarf fighter party asked my character to come over and help move the shit. So he comes over, he just lifts it up, just sees this dwarven child and a dog just cowering in the, well, the child's cowering in the corner, and the dog is just sat there being a dog. It's how in time of his life. And instead of Lazakan just quietly standing there waiting for the child to come out, at the coercion of the dwarf friend who would probably relate to this child a lot easier given them being about the same height, he instead just goes boo, and all you hear is this dwarvish child screaming for its life as Lazakan then laughs his ass off walking out of the room, with Vega just giggling to himself unseen by the others. I'm pretty sure the fighter insulted me, but I didn't quite hear him.
The dwarf fighter, I remember the dwarf fighter actually kicking you.
Yeah, in the shins, it did nothing.
It did nothing, but he was mad at you.
Of course
rightfully so, I may add. One does not just curse dwarven children because it's funny. Because it's not funny. Okay, it's a little funny, but it's not funny.
Well, I mean, we did nearly axe that guy out of the door. And by we, I mean the, is it a wizard? I don't actually know what Karma's character is, class-wise.
I think he's a sorcerer. Yeah.
Just casually approaches a dwarf who's pinned into a door just by the sheer force that they were thrown into it with an axe, while Glass holding the door in place.
So this character is kind of the baby of the party. Just because how their personality is.
So the Goliaths are causing chaos. The sorcerer is walking up slowly with an axe. Bearing in mind the door is being held by a Goliath, so the dwarf is already crapping its pants going, oh god, this thing is going to eat me because, it's huge. And then looks to see, is it Azima comes right?
Yes.
There's Azima approaching them very timidly with an axe as if to go, I'm here to help. Which is somehow more terrifying than the two giant meat towers crushing everything.
Basically, the dwarf fainted.
Did we then do hot potato with the dwarves throwing them to the med center? I can't remember. Or we were going to, but didn't quite get around to it.
I think you did throw him. They throw him.
I kind of want this moment where there's there's a ravine or something, and everyone can cross except for I actually have to check the name now. The dwarf fighter. I can't actually remember his name. I feel kind of bad about it, so I'm checking it. I think is it Volvo? No, it is Baelor. He is the dwarf fighter. I kind of want Baelor not to be able to make the jump. So one of the Goliaths jumps over to the other side, and they basically just baseball style pitch the dwarf at them. But just before he has a moment to rise, he'll be like, "Wait, what are you? No, 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 no!"
Yeah.
Are you mad? Yes, we are.
That's exactly what we're about to do. So that's the party I'm dealing with as a new DM.
Oh, it's okay. I'm sure Stuart will tell you the amount of madness he's got planned for me being the new DM.
Oh, yeah. It would be fun to hear you being put through hell by your players, who probably will be also very grateful that you're hosting the session. But it would be funny to hear, and I will be just like, yep, there it is.
Yeah, they'll put me through hell until I turn around and be like, Yeah, so remember this thing that you've just found out about 10 minutes ago? Yeah, it turns out it's happening now.
There's this other campaign where the kind of our main DM and the other very experienced tanky player plays just the two of them while they're taking a break as well. And I am very excited to have them as a guest on the stream sometime soon as part of a big celebration that we hit 25 a few months ago.
Yeah, we should really get on that at some point.
Yeah, I did remind them today.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
And
happens whenever they're ready.
yeah, I said that as well. And I'm pretty sure they will tell all about this mind-bending campaign and the mind-bending things that they do, because they are just, if it's not broken, it's not worth doing mentality, which is very fun to listen to and hear about and all of that. It's less fun if you're the DM. Well, luckily I am not, so it's all good.
Something that I would like to potentially do, not that I pitched the idea to Bunny yet, but yeah, no, fuck it, I'm gonna do my pitch now. Is sometimes after, the streamer after the Saturday sessions, if we've had a really big session, is potentially having one of the guys come in from the campaign and basically just chat about what happened, but have it from a player and
We
DM
can
perspective.
do that. We can absolutely do that if you would like to. What I'm doing right now is I'm transferring all propagations into bigger pots. And the reason for that, I want to actually sell these said propagations. Because that's kind of how I maintain my plants. If I need anything bought for my plants, I buy that from the money I get for my propagations, which I think is very cool. Because basically this way my plants pay for themselves. Pretty much. Which is rather fancy.
Oh, I just had a thought for 75 follower milestone.
Ooh.
So, we have a friend. I say we. Bunny has a friend who she names Bestie. And she is very kindly doing some commissioned artwork for us. And I was thinking, if they were up to it, coming along onto stream for the 75th?
Doubt it.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
She is an artist, meaning she has very low social battery.
I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean it, but I mean, if she does, then yeah, I fully respect that.
Yeah, she does. But after we'll be done with, when we will get the commissions and we will actually post them and use them, her link to her Fiverr will be down in the description below. So once all that is said and done, if you could go and show my bestie some love and look at her work and consider her consider commissioning her for any of your art, especially anime needs, I would greatly appreciate that.
So
She would too. I would too.
I was speaking to Stuart the other day, and I was saying about basically redoing all the logo and everything for the brick cave because the brick cave was very. No, we basically come to the conclusion it's a little bit outdated what we have, and basically it's no longer accurate to the people present. And he was asking if I knew anyone who did any artwork, and the first thing I did was pointing him, well, almost pointing him in Boga's direction, of course, with the wait saying, just hold on until we get our stuff through so you can see what it looks like. But I think he's definitely considering giving her a look to see what our artwork's like.
Holy gee, that's great.
And I believe Stuart's actually coming to make a central.
Oh, amazing. The more the merrier.
I believe he mentioned it earlier. Yeah, he mentioned it earlier in chat.
I'm sorry if I missed it.
No, that's fine. Chat's been fairly quiet today.
To be fair, we are outside of our usual time.
Yeah.
Hopefully tomorrow will be better. I am very hopeful that we will get to affiliate by the end of summer.
I think that might be a little bit hopeful. Some people could take 2 or 3 years to get to affiliate. Some people it takes a matter of days.
Oh, I can be hopeful.
That is true.
And that's all it is for now.
Yeah.
Oh boy, this is getting very messy.
Okay, I think that's all the cutting I need to do for a while.
But good thing is, I only need to do, I think, 3 more propagations, and I am, and 1 repotting, and I am actually done mostly, I believe.
All I got to do now
Oh
is
no,
stick
I need
these
to.
onto the Skyrim collection. I think I'll be done for the evening.
Right, I thought that this would take so much more longer. But I went through a bag of soil, which is impressive. This is 4 liters of soil. And I thought that I wouldn't need any for today. Because, oh, I'm not doing repottings. Well, I did. So,
I lied, and
there we
it
go.
says where did I put them? Oh, yeah.
Sorry?
I forgot I needed to trim the edges of the felt when I put them onto the coasters because I cut them a little bit too big.
Whoopsies.
But that's okay because I can just trim them. So the going into town tomorrow to potentially look for some paints to do some coasters. But you feel another sneeze coming.
Bless you.
Apologies. There we go. But yeah, so the studio that I'm going to for the sleeve is in town. So I'll be going along and showing them some pictures and giving them monies to put me down for a booking. So I can then consensually be stabbed.
Sweet. We like to do things consensually.
Because consent is important.
Consent is very important, kids. Alright. I have this thing to put in, and that will be it for me today because I ran out of soil. Which is highly unfortunate.
You just need another bag of dirt.
Another jar of dirt.
And this has reminded me of the E3 conference that happened over the weekend. So, I'm guessing you're not aware of what E3 is.
Sorry?
I'm guessing you don't know what E3 is.
No, I don't.
It's like a conference where basically companies who are working on games basically announce what's coming out for the year. And Sea of Thieves basically turned around and they were like, hey, we've got a new expansion coming. And since it's a game about pirates and plundering their booty, 3 guesses as to what this next expansion includes.
Is it like some sort of Pirates of the Caribbean stuff?
Straight up. They put the sparrow in the game.
Hell yeah.
As soon as I saw it, I nearly yelled, I've got a jar of dirt at the monitor, and made everyone think I was slightly insane. Although if I didn't do that already, I clearly haven't done my job properly.
You did. You really wouldn't. I'm about to let out the almightiest death sneeze. And it escaped me. Oh, how much I hate when this happens.
When you think you're gonna sneeze, but you're not.
Oh, it's the worst.
And you're like, let me sneeze, damn it.
Let me sneeze, damn it. I'm not excited about this cleanup. I really am not excited about this cleanup. Like, I had this try to contain the dirt. The dirt had other plans.
The dirt was like, you cannot contain me. This is my realm.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Which I mean, in fairness, it makes sense. It is on the correct planet.
It is. Very much so. Alright. I am actually done
Oh,
for
so
today.
you finished before me. Damn, I've got like what, 3 more to do? 4 more?
That's fine. That's absolutely chill. Well, I wasn't as thorough as I hoped I would be, but I deem this deem this as good enough. It's always hard to get back on track after a depressive episode or a in a long period when you're just constantly exhausted and basically the exams took a great toll on me and um I let go of everything, most things. So my room is a mess. My plants didn't get watered for over a month, and all of that good stuff. So I'm slowly bouncing back. I'm doing better. I'm working again. Proper amounts, both on personal projects and for money. Um, I started to sort through my room and do a deep, extreme decluttering. I just finished my table, which has 7 drawers. I finished a whole drawer of my chest of drawers, which has 5 drawers. And after that, there's the wardrobe, which will be at least another day and a half. And top of the wardrobe and my bookshelf. And that will be everything. And I very much hope to be done with everything by the end of the week. Because that would be amazing.
See, despite now me having packed up most of my shit to be able to move house, I somehow still am in a mess almost everywhere.
Well, a moving house is a good thing when it comes to getting rid of stuff.
Yes.
I just really hope that these very mushy leaves will come back to life in a few days. Now I have to be very careful not to overwater, so I should water for at least a week. Probably 2. And then start watering again. Keeping up with it. Because my hanging plants, uh, my string of pearls, and my devil's ivy, they need a bit more watering than everything else. So I should do weekly watering, strictly weekly watering on hanging plants, and fortnightly watering on everything else. That sounds like a good plan, actually. And there will be D&D, for example, to keep me accountable, um, and help me be on track. Because once my sessions um, will be resumed, that will be a bi-weekly, fortnightly event because of Wolfie's
Shift
um,
pattern. But
work.
once my shift pattern goes through a certain change of sorts, the streams will have to shift back to being um, basically once every other week. Just because I can't get out, I can't forever get out of doing a late shift on a Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
But we can make up for that by doing a stream potentially later on in the week or on another day, even if it is, say, just me sat here doing some CAD and doing some mundane makey things and nothing particularly interesting, but still be here nonetheless.
Hopefully, once my internet gets sorted, I will have, access to all of the stupid stuff that you need to stream. So I will have my own little singular streams, and that would be, I think, great if we could. That would actually be amazing if we could get one stream in. Like 1 week, there will be a stream where there's both of us, and the next week, um,
One of us, the
stream
following week,
like
the other one, and do it
no,
like
no, no, no. The week that we cannot, that you can't do the Wednesday stream, that we both have our separate streams. So that week we would have two streams, one with Bunny and one with Wolfie,
Oh yeah.
and that would keep us on top of the stream hours as well.
Yes, that would, because basically each month for affiliate we need to have a collective of 8 hours, and I think it's also
And
you
through
need
the
to
span
stream
of
7 times per month total. Sorry, minimum even. But you also need, I think it's minimum of on your average of 3 viewers per stream, which I'm not sure whether this will push us below it today, but we can hope.
probably it will. So yeah, the best way to support us right now, as for what we are hoping to achieve, is to just have us in the background while you're working on stuff. I don't know, on Wednesday afternoons.
Or evenings, or mornings, depending on where you are.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
just let us ramble, let us be background noise, because that would actually greatly help.
Ta-da!
Yay!
Yay! Terry! Just heard a pigeon on the roof.
Oh. Well, on my side, that will be it for today.
Okay.
And let me actually turn my camera
There we go.
around. I completely forgot to do that. Why didn't you remind me
Because I thought you were doing
that
it on
I'm
purpose.
supposed to do this? So people can see my cute little face. Or something.
Or something along those
Yeah.
lines.
That's the reason why you only see like this level from my room, because if I tip the camera down,
It is mess.
it kind of is. Ooh, ooh, ooh. ADHD moment. I have cool lights.
See, I would like to do some kind of like lighting in the back of the room, but like just here it doesn't make any sense. Why is this not in the bin? Later. But yeah, here not practical. Once I get the office set up at the new place, by the actual office section, I am tempted to do trim lighting with it.
I did buy the light.
Don't go towards the light. It's evil. It burns. don't know why, but I was really tempted to start doing my Smeagol impression.
Today, my special someone was talking about the session he attended on Monday and what kind of wacky shit they did with the other player. As I mentioned, it's a two-player campaign. And at one point, the other one was just starting to throw like spells and everything at the I don't know who's it, but um, they phrased it in a way when they said he threw everything and the kitchen sink at him, and I couldn't stop laughing for a solid 5 minutes.
Everything in a kitchen.
Cause I just imagine I don't even know what the class of that character is, but I just imagine this character just yeeting a kitchen sink out of nowhere out of at this man, and yeah,
It
I
turns out
laughed.
this D&D session was on the Great British Bake Off.
There's an ant on my table which I smacked about 5 times and is still alive. How dare?
This hand's just like, nah. I do not conform to your defined meanings of the word perishing.
And nah.
I will not
How many
expect...
slaps did that take? It took a lot of slaps.
It's because it's just, nah, he's just like, you cannot slap me.
But I did though,
Yeah, 9 times.
at least. Alright.
Okay, so I think we'll call it for today. Thank you everyone who turned up for the stream. Have a good, I nearly said Wednesday, it's not Wednesday yet. Have a good Tuesday, and is it Wednesday yet?